So do we address
Yeah,
free
let me
free
look.
free
I
will?
have so free will.
Did I address that?
It's yeah, I think I just keep coming back to the idea that it is just hard for me to, because you were saying that you do not believe people have free will, right?
I
Yeah.
don't.
So it is
But it
just
feels
hard.
like it and it looks like it, and that's
It looks like it.
yeah.
And
And
I
I'm
agree with that. I
okay.
do agree with that.
It,
I have a hard time with it.
yeah, it's uncomfortable, I suppose. I mean, at first it's uncomfortable, but then when you look back, when you pull back and look at it, it's like, well, I feel like I have free will, and
Hmm.
that's good enough. When it comes to parenting, I could
Hmm.
say my kids don't have free will and therefore on some level are not accountable, but I don't see
Hmm.
how that helps anybody. I don't see how that will help them to be productive members of society. So it's like, but and I
Okay,
also don't see
that's
I
an
don't see the
interesting.
function of that thought either. I don't see the function of pulling back and just letting them, you know,
Hmm.
harm others. I do believe that we have innate human rights that should not
Hmm.
be violated, and being hit, I think if my
Hmm.
kids grow up to be people that hit strangers, like
Yeah.
I obviously did not do a very good job as a parent, and they're violating rights that I think people are born with. So
Yeah.
no, I mean, even though they don't exactly have free will, it's close enough to not violate someone else's rights, and I can work with my kids on that.
Mhm. So it's kind of like you believe, like in your core, you're like, I don't think people have free will, but I'm still going to operate in a way almost as if I'm treating them as if they do have free will. Like
Yeah,
you're the teenagers you work with, you're like, I'm going to
yeah,
treat you as if you have free will, and
yeah. I don't.
my kid treat you as if you have free will.
Yeah, I think telling us ourselves that we have choice is pretty powerful,
It is
and
powerful.
responsibility. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like even if we don't have free will, you still are alive. You still do affect other people and yourself,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
ultimately you do have options, and so that might feel like choice, and maybe choice and free will are different. So it's
Hmm.
like if you do have options at hand, and some more than others.
Hmm.
So there's enough there for us to work with, and to discuss a concept of choice or responsibility.
Okay.
And so I
Hmm.
think those are really important values that we can pass on and utilize so that we can affect each other positively, just generally
Right.
positively.
Right. Because it wouldn't be helpful to just be like, well,
I don't think
your life
so.
determined. So just like to have at it, like obviously that's not going to be.
So the idea of, life is predetermined. I mean, we
Mhm.
have no idea what that looks like.
Mhm.
So it completely feels like it's not, and that's fine. But it's either that. So let's just say it's purely materialistic and it's dominoes falling, and here we are.
Mhm.
The other option is, well, at least from certain worldviews, like let's say God chose this, it's
Mhm.
still predetermined.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
still have no real choice. They say we have free will, but God
Totally.
chose this path for every single one of us if he's real.
Yeah.
uh I don't see the difference. Personally, I don't
Mhm.
see the difference.
So, but yeah, I think yeah, I like the idea of just holding the two together. Like yes, like no, we do not have free will, and also like we can still operate in a way that we are acting as if we kind of do because that is functional and helpful. And for my clients, that's helpful. Like my clients, I don't know, it's
Yeah,
helpful for me to know that like I feel like I have choice somehow.
I've totally, yeah, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, it's very empowering. I mean, to feel like and I think a lot of kids I work with, they feel like they don't have choice, they feel like they don't have power,
Yeah.
or agency, and it's disastrous. It doesn't help to tell someone that they have no capacity to make their life better. And
Yeah.
so I think that idea is helpful. It can be
Mhm.
helpful, at least. But if you think about, like, I've seen dogs or primates or other mammals, when their kids act out of line, they seem to put them in check,
True.
don't they? Like, have
Yeah.
you ever seen that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't think of any great examples, but I've seen videos where it's like, oh, they're being parents, and
Yeah.
they might be more physical than I would hope other parents would be, but
Sure.
like that's
Yeah.
that's their way of putting their kids in check. So I wouldn't say that the little puppy or little chimpanzee baby or whatever you call them is making a choice. I wouldn't
Right.
say they have free will, but still their parents are putting them in check. It's like, no, you fall back in line. You're not following our social norms. Hey, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I, of course, have a lot more stuff here on YouTube, but I also have even more on my website. It's justinlmft.com. I have a blog, I have a podcast, I have free resources, and I have some paid courses as well. Head on over to justinlmft.com. I think you'll like it a lot. This and other content I create is not therapy, not intended to be therapy or be a replacement for therapy. Nothing in this creates or indicates a therapeutic relationship. Please consult with your therapist or seek for one in your area if you are experiencing mental health symptoms. Nothing should be understood to be specific life advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only.